morning. Welcome to the Maysville Board of Commissioners, Wednesday, March the 25th, 2026. We will begin with Reverend Lease.
Shall we pray? Father, we're reminded that your word tells us that your mercies are new every morning. Your faithfulness endures. And Father, we're thankful that as we go through these days and these seasons, that you're always there to give us strength and direction. We pray that your direction and wisdom be extended to each of us here this morning as we make these decisions that affect our community. We pray your blessings upon our leadership, and we ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Lease. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Boone?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Brammer?
Yes.
Commissioner Carbell?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes.
Mayor Cottrell?
Yes, ma'am.
City Manager Wallingford?
Here.
City Attorney Cottle?
Here.
Controller Wood? Here. HR Director Rose?
No. She's good.
Project Coordinator Ward?
Here.
Public Works Director King?
Here.
Chief Boggs?
Here, man.
Fire Chief Carpenter?
Here.
Utility Manager Spence?
Here.
Zoning Administrator Larger?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Discussion, Skipper's Cafe?
Mayor and Commissioners, David and I have been working with new owners of Skipper's Restaurant, and I'd like to introduce to you Keith and Amanda Mason. And you guys come forward. Amanda, do you want to they have a little brief, they kind of want to show you something. Come over here, Amanda, and I'll let you in this one. Oh, Chief, do we have an extra HDMI they can plug into?
I can give it to him.
Okay, here, you sit right here. I'm gonna come back here. But Keith, while that's going, if you wanna kind of just address the.
Well, I think a lot of you probably know who I am. We're from the area originally. We've been out of here for probably 5 years. We went down south and done a big economic development down there that really made a ton of revenue, and we're avid boaters. We've been boating back up here on the river for about 3 years now. And we got to become friends with the owner of Skipper's, and I just see it's got a little more potential, and Gary ultimately has bigger things in mind to do with restaurants, and he has a non-compete. So we almost bought it last summer, but we thought the price was a little too much for what you were getting. And then over the past 3 months, we've been in negotiations and finally signed a deal last Wednesday. We met with Matt and David, and Craig, I think, was there.
Yeah.
Last Thursday, or was it Wednesday or Thursday we met?
Last week, yeah.
But they're big, they're like, man, I wish that dock was cleaned up. So over the weekend, we brought our motor home down, plugged up, and bought some equipment, cleaned up the whole riverbank. My wife's got some pictures of that in a little slideshow here. My biggest focus is, Maysville, like, we own 2 boats. We've got a really nice cruiser, it's almost 40 foot long. And every time we come to Maysville to go walk downtown or something, like, your boat, ultimately, we all know the docks aren't the best in the world, but
You can come up here if you
I
want.
think y'all got some grant money.
Come up here if you want.
I think y'all gotten some grants to help get better docking systems, things like that. I've been in contact with, I've been doing a lot of legwork, because when I get something on my mind, I really want to focus on it and try to push it to its, and try to make it, make it happen. So with that being said, as a child, I remember renting a boat from a man named Tom, and it was in the old marina. I don't know if, a lot of people didn't even know there was one back there, but in the backwaters over there, beside the boat ramp, I've been in contact with the Army Corps of Engineers, with the Coast Guard, with, everybody that needs to be involved, and I've found out that we have to do a mussel study, because there's evidently a federally protected mussel that lives deep in the river. Our water is only 8 or 9 feet deep, but we still have to have a mussel study. With that being said, we've put together, we've been working with the same people that David got some quotes for the docks, to give us an idea of how many slips that we could put back in there that would be off the channel, safer, won't damage your boat like being out on the main channel. Roughly, I think there's gonna be more, but right now we have like an idea of like 50 seasonal slips that, you know, a lot of people in the surrounding counties and this county would love to have someplace safe to park their boats and leave it. We've been in contact with the dredging company, we've been in contact with the mussel study people. We're still doing a lot of research on it, but right now, like the initial investment would be roughly $240 to do the dredging and the mussel study. The mussel study is around $30,000 or under to do that area. That's the first thing that has to be done before anything can go any farther forward with that. Sorry, I might jump around a little bit. She gave me coffee this morning because we're both a little bit sick. I might jump around a little bit on you. Let's see. And when we looked at buying skippers, we kind of read through a lot of their reviews and the posts, and we wanted to try to address everything as quick as possible. So our number one goal was to find more docks, and to change up the menu a little bit where, you know, the economy's not great right now, so we put some cheaper things on our menu. We kind of addressed everything that was going on the social media side. And we've moved forward leaps and bounds for what little time we've had it. We've got another, roughly 180 foot of docks to be put in, that we bought from a guy down in Ripley. He's actually just given them to me for the season, and he said, pay me when you get it. You know, like, he just wants to see it back the way it used to be in New Richmond. It's beautiful, and everybody wanted to go there. I mean, and then our biggest focus, when I did tell him yes, was to get gasoline. Because, I mean, we all know there's a pretty good price hike when you're sitting on the water compared to loading it on your trailer and going to the gas station. So, we have been working with the fire marshals, with Valor Oil, with M&W or M&M. They got a couple, it's all the same company, but we've been working with them to get everything installed. We meet with them again today to try to get, to try to make sure we have gas available to our patrons. I mean, I just feel like that is a crucial thing to have for any business on the river, and to have good quality gas. We're working with a company out of Michigan that sells an additive that is supposed to be better, just as good or better than wreck gas. Because wreck gas right now would cost you almost $5 a gallon just to get it here. So you'd have to be charging $6, $7, you know. So we're gonna try to use a lower grade with a really good additive. That's what Florida has went to. Like, most of the big marinas have all went to, just use an 87 with like an octane booster and an additive. Let's see, what else? Our biggest thing, we wanted to meet about, come and talk to everybody, introduce ourselves, and, you know, we need to get the lease signed with you all for the year, and if we can work something out, because I've tried to get the insurance, have you all read over the original lease?
Yes.
Nobody will insure that thing, like, it's uninsurable. I can get the liability for my business, but, you know, as far as the docks and salvage, like, but it's full of foam, like, it will take an act of God to sink it, and literally, I mean, you'd have to melt the foam and, you know, shove it down. With that being said, I appreciate the offer on there for the, you know, to put money at the Bank of Maysville for that. I'm fine with that. If we go ahead and spend our money to put in the gasoline and stuff, that frees up, how much money, David? Was it like 80-some grand of the original grant money to put gas down there? If we spend our money on that, I was just wanting you all to maybe discuss it, or about changing the rent out to where we get our investment back over that time. Just for a couple.
The rent right now is $250 a month, so it's basically.
Which is not a lot of money,
Yeah.
but
$3,600 a year.
still, I mean, we're not rich. I mean, me and her, I mean, she was a nurse up till July. She stopped and started working for us. We've got a few businesses, the little vape store in Maysville that was originally here, Vaporizing, we own that. We own a tire store in Mount Sterling, and just recently sold out my logging business because my father passed away. And I really, mentally, I just don't want to be in that no more, not with him not around, so.
So Keith, what you're getting at is keep the escrow.
Yes, keep the escrow. I'm fine with that.
Keep the escrow, but what he's asking is to basically cut the rent because of the investment that he's making down there until such time that you recoup that,
Yeah,
and then
right,
we can
when I recoup that,
renegotiate.
yeah, and we can you know, like I said, I was just want, you know, all the help we can get. I mean, you know, we're not sure what this place is gonna do. We've saw the numbers, but food prices went up another 13%. I mean, you know, a cheeseburger patty is almost $3, you know, for a good one. So, I mean, you look at that, you look at the cost of help and trying to get help. I mean, sometimes you gotta pay astronomical numbers for mediocre people. It's just, that's the way the world is right now. I mean, we've ran into that at our tire store. But as you can see, this is like a before picture. I think David, Matt, everybody that saw this next picture she's getting ready to show, just couldn't believe that that was already done. I mean, that thing weighed, I hauled off the last load was Monday morning. It was 50-some hundred pounds of steel, and we all hauled the old propane tanks to Hoibu's out toward Germantown. We took them out to his place, because we're gonna cut them up and make fire pits and things with them later, but, and we've been working a little tighter. We tried to get with Mike down there at the River Park, you know, the RV part, and, you know, try to bond us back together, because before it was them against Skippers. And now we're trying to bring that community to wanna come over, and their biggest concerns were food prices and just the attitude of certain people and things. And we just wanted to try to cure everything and start this thing over fresh and take it where it deserves to be.
Are you, Keith, are you still, is this still a partnership? Because Gary was in a partnership.
No, ma'am. No,
So you
no,
solely-
no, I done my due diligence. That's why it's taken months and months and months, because I didn't want in the middle of nothing. Like, you know, it's just been a bad deal all the way around for, you know, like partnerships and those kind of businesses don't really function well.
Right.
Like you have to have one chief telling the Indians what to do. Like
Well,
when
we
you have
understand
three
they
chiefs
dissolved.
telling the Indians to do a different
It
way.
is dissolved, yes. They went, they had a ruling in court documentation that the actual membership was dissolved and the LLC was dissolved and all the assets were put up for
For sale.
So you're sole owner.
So,
We are the
yes.
sole owners, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
How much investment do you anticipate making? You mentioned on your first slide a monetary investment in addition to an in-kind investment. How much monetary investment do you plan on making?
How much for
Well, I mean,
the
so
gas cost?
we were hoping to have that number for you today, but, yeah, I think Matt just invited me like, so I don't have the exact number.
Sure.
Roughly $70,000, just to put the gas and the pump and everything in.
So $70,000 over what period of time? Like when would,
All that was upfront cost.
okay.
In the next 90 days.
I guess I just don't understand, $70,000 is a big investment, and I just don't understand how $250 a month, like,
Well,
ties
it'll be
into
over the next
that.
few years. I mean, I'm, like I said, I'm just trying to recoup as much as we could. And
Okay,
if it goes like, I mean, I don't never look for these, like, I don't go out searching for things like that.
Sure.
It's just, if there's something to do, like, it's always just sitting out there for us to take it and make money with it. Like,
Mhm.
we've been blessed our whole life.
And Robert, kind of go back to the gas thing. Obviously, you know, that's included in our
Original
FLAP
lease.
grant.
yes,
But we're dealing with the Department of Interior right now. We don't know when, you know, all that stuff's gonna happen. And, you know, he's pretty adamant about getting it in here now, which I understand, you know, it's a great location for voters to be able to gas up, so.
It's definitely a need. for
He's
that.
willing to, Keith and Amanda are willing to make that investment up front to get the gas in here.
And we can use that extra money in the grant and transfer it to docks.
Okay.
Docking, which would help Limestone Landing and help him, because I could use that money. You can't do something new in a grant, however, it has to be listed, or you can transfer it to a different.
sure, yeah. Well, $250 a month is sort of a drop in the bucket when you're using $70,000 number. So I would be in favor of maybe putting that $250 in escrow, and then if this investment happens on your end, having the conversation again about reimbursing some of that cost.
Well, we would like to own you know, own the tank and things like that. Like, you know, that's kind of what we were looking at.
Oh, okay.
Is, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
because if you all own the tank, then you're responsible for inspecting it and.
Yeah, I'm not advocating that we own the tank. I'm
No,
just,
I see, you're just offering to pay it back from
Yeah.
an escrow, so you're saying put $350 a month in the escrow account. In a set, well, it'd be $250.
250 in an
one,
escrow
and then-
account, and then if that investment happens that you say is going to happen,
Mhm.
then look at reimbursing and offsetting that
No,
cost at that
that's
point in
fine with me.
time.
I mean, like I said, we've already spent, you know, a lot of labor and love trying to get to this.
Sure, yeah, and congratulations on the business purchase,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
well, or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, right?
We don't know yet, we're winging.
Yeah,
So, I see what he's saying.
yeah.
If we have it installed, you know, in a timely manner, you know, I guess we would just need to renegotiate after that point.
I'm just one vote, and that's all I'm suggesting.
No, all inputs
Yeah.
are, you know.
Yeah, we're looking at I'm trying to look at the monthly bills that are in a real tight,
Sure.
section, because it's very seasonal and it's very weather dependent.
Well,
You know,
gas
that
prices
position
are up
is-
40%,
Yeah.
so we don't know if we're gonna see 10 boats all year.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
crazy,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, it's really scary time to
Yeah.
go into this. I
for
mean,
sure, yeah.
We're,
Yeah, and that's all developed literally as we've already been on, this was already on the table and then
Sure.
gas shot up
Yeah,
the way it did. So
things are
we're
crazy,
like, oh
yeah.
wow, this isn't gonna go as great as maybe, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a struggle,
Yeah.
so.
So Keith, you did have the boat inspected with the phone.
yes, so I've been on the river my whole life. I worked for Crowns as a kid. Like, to do an actual survey of the boat is impossible. Because you would have to drive, I mean, it would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And once you put it up there, I mean, once you take it to a dry dock or something, you know, they're gonna, it's kinda like, pulling in to get a little bit of maintenance done, you end up having to buy wipers, air filter, like, that's the way it becomes, and then you're in debt to them for the rest of your life. We've had multiple people look at the boats, the docks, you know, the only way to sink them is for them to literally be pulled in pieces for the foam to flip out inside of them. I mean, they're pretty much unsinkable. I mean,
We've talked to the previous
there's
owners.
no way to do a survey as far as to sell them as a vessel, if that makes sense. Like, if you go, I can get a survey on a boat, you know, it costs you a few $100, but they have to pull it on dry dock. It has to go to, you know, West Virginia or way down below Cincinnati in order to get a survey done. But as far as structural integrity and being able to sink, like, those two things, I'm very confident in.
So just saying, you can't get into, if something did happen.
Absolutely not.
What would be your plan?
If something did happen, as far as what?
Just saying something.
Like a
Worst
total-
case scenario.
The only thing that could, if a commercial vessel hit it and ripped it all out, ultimately that's on them.
Mhm.
But other than that, I mean, it's really, I mean, it would take an act of God to get it out.
Let's say you know what, Gales, it did happen, could you simply get a large wrecker to pull it out?
Well, you know, we
You
would
know,
have
if you
to,
had to?
well, yeah, if we found, we would ultimately have to, you know, rent the space of the marine, you know, somewhere that's got a nice transition and take dozers and winch pieces up,
Yeah.
cut it off as we go and scrap it. And
It
take
could be done.
It can be cleaned up, yes. It's not like what's sitting down there, I mean,
I know.
because it literally, I mean, it can't be sunk. I mean, you know, it'd be like trying to hold a big foam float underwater the whole time. Like, even if a boat drove up on it, a barge full of coal, when they back that boat back off, it's gonna come back out of the water, whatever's left of it. And then we just ship it down south and have it scrapped out.
So the
No, it's
city
very
would
nerve-wracking
Not
to
be
buy it.
liable in any way, is that what you're saying?
No, because, I mean, we're still looking at doing the escrow.
Right.
And I think you're looking at the change in the lease would be basically to scrap the lease payment and increase the escrow amount. And then if you all are agreeable to what Robert's saying is, you know, negotiate over time to give that money back because of the investment that they're making now.
Yeah, and if we don't need it, I'll leave it in escrow for
Yeah.
the salvage fund. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking, the escrow in lieu of the insurance would stay city money, because that would be to offset the cost, because we'd agreed to that when we negotiated the lease.
Yeah.
This rent escrow would go back to you
yeah,
once and if the
Okay.
investment you say is going to happen, happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, I mean, like I said, this it was very nerve wracking buying.
Yeah,
this thing.
no, I
Like,
get it,
I've
yeah.
been on it 100 times and I'm like, man, it is what it is. I mean, it's,
I said, we just gotta do something a little bit every day. When we
Sure,
walk on
yeah.
there.
yeah, we went out there last night.
There will
we're
always be
measuring.
something to do.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
I would like you all to maybe just keep in your minds or put in a discussion is, you know, ultimately skippers, you know, if we could get the marina dredged out, if maybes,
Yeah.
I'd like to move skippers up in there. Then we know she's safe forever.
Yeah.
Get rid of the docks, you know, just have the dining barge and then have a big patio up on land and not have, you know, any more stress.
Yeah.
Cause it is pretty stressful.
Sure.
I mean, when water comes up, you're like, oh gosh. Cause I was out there, there was some kids out jet skiing the other Saturday or Sunday. What day was it? Was that Sunday?
Sunday, yeah.
There was a bunch of kids, they were in from the army, they just got back
Yeah.
off basic, and he's like, I didn't get to use them all year. He's like, I was getting out. And I was like, hey man, would you mind hooking a rope to that tree and taking it on out in the middle of the river so it'd get off the boat? And he was like, yeah, I don't care. So this kid done it. I don't know, I didn't even catch their names. They're great kids, but
Yeah.
he took it and idled this big, huge tree and all the crap that was piled on the front of our boat, and it, you know, sent it downstream. And he come back and I just handed him like $60. I was like, there you go, there's your gas for the day. He's like, you didn't have to do that. I was like, look, man, like, pay it forward.
Yeah.
What do you guys, what do you feel like is your ideal timeframe to open, so that I know we talked about this yesterday, so we
Yeah.
kinda know, Kelly knows what date to put in the lease and things like that.
Well, my goal is to try to get a roof on the dining barge. It looks bad. We've got a couple people quoting it. It's gonna take,
That's that big tarp.
it's
on that
just a
far
tarp, like
side.
stretched
It's
over everything.
It's damaged.
And I had mentioned it to, Matt and them, like, you know, if the city wanted to, you know, like have it, you know, the city of Maysville or something put on where you could see it from the air. I mean, it's 100-foot long billboard, you know, that you can see from the side and from the top. But we're working on that, and that is we can't really give you a dead timeline. I think it'll be at least,
If we were to
3
have,
weeks.
if we were to have a lease date ready, say of April 15th,
yeah,
Yeah.
because our next regular meeting is April 9th, so we can hash out all the lease details, get that approved on April 9th, get it signed, you're good to go.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Is that
we'll try to
okay?
be here the 9th
Yeah.
and just sign it then and.
You can, you don't have, you
Well,
can't,
that
you
way
can-
they can
you
talk.
can come the next day if you want to,
Okay.
you don't have to be there, but the goal here for me was to get the lease details worked out with you all, so that we could get a final lease ready for you on the 9th, get it approved and get them ready. Vic, do you have a question?
Yeah, first of all, congratulations and welcome.
Thanks, sir.
Pretty excited for you all, especially the marina part.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge.
Now,
undertaking.
my only concern, and I'm gonna, you probably don't know, I know you don't know this, but the most complaints I received last year, and I got several, was skippers, patrons blocking the dock. So are you gonna make sure that the dock is free?
You mean the Maysville dock?
Yeah, for
Okay,
boats to
so-
get in and out?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yes.
that, like I said, in everything we do, same thing. Every boater says there's no docks, there's no cleats to tie to, so we have 180-foot, extra coming. So I've already gotten with the Coast Guard and made my footprint 20 foot wider, so we're moving the little red shack that's a storage and a beer, that's your beer refrigerator. So we're moving it up in the center, so we're gonna be 20 foot wider, and there'll also be a few little, like, outdoor seating areas right there on that little dock. But then we're having a walkway between the two barges too. And we're gonna put a whole nother string of docks down the other side. And,
My concern is, I don't own a boat. The concerns that were presented to me,
Mhm.
people getting their boats in and out because of
He's
cars
talking
parked
about the
there.
launching
Yeah.
of other
The
boats,
launching.
fishermen.
Launching,
boats,
coming in and
like-
out.
oh, okay. So-
And I don't know if that's Mike, is that the river park's responsibility, or will he have the authority to go say, hey,
Was it
move your
parking?
car?
Was it
It was
cars,
parking.
Vic, parking?
Yeah.
that-
They were
So
parking where the boats.
me and
were.
David kinda walked around that parking lot, and the way they striped it, I think we need to stripe it a different color and maybe even put,
Signage?
post and road, and just vehicle parking only. Have one way in, one way out, no trucks and trailers can get in there.
I like that. I mean, I
I mean,
really
like,
think that
that's
would
gonna
be,
fix, I'm a problem fixer, like,
Good.
not a, you know, like, we had talked about that, like, if we go through and drill and just put signage and just put barge rope through it, you know, like, and put pedestrian and restaurant parking only.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna fix everything.
Right.
And we were
Cause it's a
trying to-
long walk over anyway.
Yeah, so
like-
we were extending that parking lot too, like the gravel over closer to where the tank's gonna go.
Oh, yeah, we talked
Well,
about
yeah,
We were
we're
gonna
gonna have our
pour-
employee parking, so we've all discussed it, and I've actually cleaned up a lot of the crap up there, but as you're going down into there, you can turn left and go right at the end of the guardrail. So we're gonna put employee parking there, also the gas tank's gonna be up there on a concrete pad, fenced in. But we're gonna have our employees up there, so that'll be 6 or 7
Yeah.
cars a day that are out of your all's way, but, you know. And for, also down at the bottom, I'm gonna bring in some gravel or, you know, work something out, but I wanna be able to get our vans or, you know, people that are maybe a little more handicapped that don't wanna fight to get over there. We wanna have a really close access for them. We're also gonna be having a golf cart. And if we do the signage, that we're talking about, between there, we wanted to put a QR code where you could just text and they would come out and give you a ride. I mean, that's kind of our goal, is
Especially for
to
the
make it
handicap.
way more accessible for everyone.
It's pretty,
Because, I mean,
that sounds really good.
I'm
I'm just
40-some
concerned about if I'm out on the river and it's dusk, getting my boat in off
right,
of it.
right,
Yes.
Without
right. No,
without having to come to you, because you're running a business.
Right.
Having to run you down and say, hey, man, who owns these cars out here?
Yep, well, like I said, I think, you know, if we all just meet out there and, you know, put up a few posts in the blacktop, like, you know, permanent structures that we can pull out for the winter in case water gets over it.
Matt,
And
can
just
we
run
just
around.
write that before the season starts? Thank
Yeah, I
you.
mean, I think if we change the color, because when they ground the concrete, they ground it to white. And then they put down white lines, so it's really, really confusing. So, I mean,
Well, thank you, thank you.
no problem. Like I said, I try to address every issue as quick as possible.
Well,
And
thank you.
that's what I told
How much would you charge me to take me from your boat to my house down on top of the floodway? $5?
$5, there you go. No, I mean, like I said,
Uber.
I hope that it becomes a community icon. I mean, because in New Richmond, everybody was there. We literally would drive, I mean, our boat uses roughly 11 gallons a mile, and we would take it from Ripley all the way through the lock and dam every other week and go down there to Skipper's to buy their gas, because they had the best gas on the river. It'd run 4 miles an hour faster.
Wow.
Like, I mean, that's how much we love that place, and
Well, thank you.
I
Thank
think-
you for answering, for
Oh,
addressing
yeah.
mine, and I wish you the best.
we're gonna need it. The economy and gas prices are scaring me to death right now. $2.50 a month might buy me enough beans and taters to get through the month.
We're talking about the direct revenue, if we brought it.
Oh,
in.
yeah, like, so, you know, back on the Little Merino idea, ultimately it'd be a really, we've come up with kind of a name, it'd be Mason Point Marina, because there's a cool little, the revenue roughly, I mean, you know, we were at Cave Run when we first started going to Cave Run, it was $1,200 a month, then they raised it to like $2,200 now, so we left there and become river rats again. Not because of money, just because of the poor adequacies that they were giving you. They weren't giving you anything else for $2,200 a month. It wasn't costing them a penny more from the Army Corps, so it just kind of was like they were just taking money because they could. But anyway, roughly, you know, if we can only put 50 slips in there, it's $62,000 a year. You know, and I was telling Matt, you know, if we can stay spearheading this and stay in front of it, we'd like to ultimately work out a long-term deal to be in control of the marina until we get our in-kind and our other investments back. What else you got up there, buddy? I need
So that-
glasses.
Yeah.
I'm getting
yeah.
old. Can you blow that up? So, this all ties back into the marina. You'd be looking at, you know, probably 6 to 8 more permanent, you know, seasonal permanent jobs. You know, I mean, there's always people wanting their boats cleaned or, you know, just things to always do on docks. There's always something to be done for the patrons. We've had quite a few events, we've done ourselves, down at an off-road park. A little different world, but same deal, you know, it brings in economy, it brings in money. One of our big things would be to bring in some smaller upcoming, country or, you know, just not
Music artists. in
just
general.
music artists in general, and do a Rock the River festival. We'd like to try to plan something for maybe this summer or fall before we close. I've talked to Jerry from Lundy's, he said that we could, you know, for a very nominal price, he'd move those trailers and we could rent those spaces to park people and, you know, just kind of close the boat ramp, you know, or just have the boat ramp only open and, you know, just have a really nice music festival down there. I think we could put something, and we were gonna name it Rock the River Music Festival. We'd also like to, because of where it's all located, we'd like to do maybe also maybe utilizing his parking areas. We would like to do like motorcycle, cars, and trucks, and let some of the, you know, underprivileged children get in there and just walk around and see a lot of things they'd probably never get to be around in a normal scenario. We're also maybe thinking about doing some boat rentals again, jet ski rentals at Skipper's, just depending on how the economy's looking. We just wanna kinda give back. I mean, it's kind of gonna be a passion for us, and usually when I start on something, it kind of blows into something pretty big. I've been blessed with that.
Yeah. So just some of the things that were gonna make it
I
better.
can't read it.
Oh,
Literally,
so-
I have to look at your screen. So the first things we're doing, you know, is ultimately assessing, keeping Maysville's docks there cleared and keep our patrons over on our side. We've already talked about the parking, which was something we had discussed. It would probably bring in, a lot more seasonal tourism, better shoreline. Oh, this is about the marina. Sorry, this goes back to the marina.
Like everybody else does.
Yeah, so the marina would ultimately, I mean, it would be more of a destination. If people would be literally, there'd be a waiting list a mile long to have slips at this marina, because you got full channel access, it's back off of the, you know, the main channel, it's protected, and you can't have people flying by on boats. We're on Eagle Creek at a little landing, it's a private dock, it only holds maybe 9 vessels. And literally, we have fishermen go by and rock our boat so bad that it'll throw you out of bed. I mean, and this is on a creek, and that's I mean, like, it's illegal. You're not, all creeks are no wake. Like, you're not allowed to be on plane, and we know who they are, unfortunately. They just won't stop. But I just feel like, you know, for something for you all to look forward to would be having that accessibility back and knowing, I mean, boaters spend a lot of money.
That marina would give them protection from all that wake.
Sorry, I'm jumping
You're
around.
okay,
a
you're-
bit. And then, you know, of course, Maysville's a river town, but we don't have much river amenities, you know what I mean? So ultimately, we would like to try and focus on, you know, maybe getting the city to invest in this mussel study, to maybe, you know, see if it is a possibility.
Is there a grant out there for that?
I'm sure there is some grants that
We
they
can
can
look
file
bet,
for.
We
yeah.
can look into it, yeah.
But from what I understand, the one that they already have been approved, it says for water infrastructure is how it reads. And that's a pretty gray area, because dredging could be part of that. Docks could be, the survey could be part of that. And David, would you all have to, I guess the DLG is in control of that, the Department of Local Government have that grant too, Matt? Or who's
I
it?
mean, the one we're working on now,
The one y'all have, right?
the Federal
Transportation.
Lands Access
Yeah.
Program, it's really through, it's through the federal government, but we work with the Highway Department, oddly enough, on this one.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's a pretty gray area, the way it's written, and I believe that you could probably get that money covered by them to do the study.
They can't do this study until the 1st of May, apparently.
Yeah,
That's
we
like
have till May before they can do
mussel season.
and we might find someone to do it a little cheaper, but, you know, everything we've researched, these guys are from Kentucky, and
I feel like that's a limited
it's a very
specialty.
limited specialty. I didn't know there was a mussel specialist in the world, but
So if
there
y'all
is.
don't know that area, the way that it's built, on where the arrow is, that little blue dot's the campground, that's where we're staying, and then that inlet is there. And there's it's just been filled in with a lot of brush and trees and,
So it goes with the kayak launch and things like that that have already been integrated into this. That's why I say with it being a gray area, depending on how it's worded, that kayak launch would be a lot safer right there. I mean, like, you're not in the channel, if it's somebody avid that, not real good on a kayak, they got a place to learn before you throw them in swift water. It would make safety like 100 times better for kayakers, especially avid, new kayakers.
And there's parking back there,
And,
we have access to,
with that being said, a lot of kayakers, they generally try to pre-plan their trips, so they would take a vehicle down. If all this comes together, I can see running a shuttle bus and a large trailer to bring their kayaks back up from, wherever the other end they would wanna go to. You would offer that as a shuttle service for them and their kayaks. And
Rentals.
rental kayaks, I mean, the numbers just keep growing, like, the more it's just like opening a can of worms, it's just gonna keep going and making more jobs and more things to do, the more we can get done with it.
this is where it talks about the.
And this is ChatGPT. Me and it argued for about 2 hours yesterday, trying to get it to draw what I wanted, and this is as close as that genius could get. And we, sorry, but there's no way in or out.
Yeah, I don't know what negative was thinking.
I don't know how you get your boat in there, you just jump the dock. But we, like I said, we just wanted to try to put together a presentation for y'all, as far as that goes.
It talks about early May. and
The dredging company, again, they said it would be around 181,000, and that's Washington Marine down here in Cincinnati. He said he would, but that is a center river discharge price. I had
Yeah.
talked to Matt, I've talked to Owen McNeil about maybe getting CSX to lease us the property y'all sold to them. Because if we have to, we can pump that silt up on land and build a retaining pond that can sit there over the years and turn back into some of the best potting soil you could ever ask for. But those are just options and things that we're trying to look at.
Keith and Amanda, going back to the lease, that was really the only item you guys
Yeah, I'm
looked at
fine
about
with, I mean,
changing.
like I said, I appreciate y'all doing that. I mean, most places would be like, get it out of here. I mean, but.
That was just the one, that was really the only area.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with the economy the way it is,
Yeah.
even if y'all do want it in escrow, I mean, ultimately, if that gas tank's sitting there, that's $8,500, I've already ordered it. So, I mean, I will get gas in there one way or the other, it's just depending on the timeline.
So Kelly, you got that, or what you would need to change in the lease?
I have some questions.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So is the lease gonna be between the city and Keith and Amanda Mason individually? or
It'd be through
the LLC?
Skippers,
Whatever I sent,
There's
what I
Skipper
sent you,
2026 LLC.
Skippers 2026 LLC.
I've got that, Kelly.
Not K and A Holdings?
No, that's the owner of
So it's gonna be called, what now, Skippers?
yeah, Skippers.
Skippers 2026
LLC.
LLC.
And is that LLC already in existence?
Yes,
Yes.
yep, it's all, got
And
all,
are you like the member, who would sign, you or
I
Amanda?
think she's the
I
acting
think I
member
want
on
to
that
skip,
one.
and then,
Yeah, she's already looked it up, I'm sure.
Well, and I know that's what was
Oh,
on
yeah.
your application for ABC too.
And we
yeah.
got all that fixed yesterday too.
Yes.
We got a lot moving forward
No.
real quick.
I'm confused a bit on what are we doing about monetary rent?
Okay.
The $250.
So let's go back to you all. So are you all open to wiping out the rent right now and basically saying $250 a month to an escrow for either if it were to sink, or going back to Robert, what you were saying, give it back to them because of their investment?
Once the gas is installed.
Does that make sense?
Yes, but I would still like something in escrow.
Well,
That's what this would be,
No,
yeah.
I'm saying for sinking. It's
all right,
different.
two different.
Two
questions.
separate escrows.
Two separate escrows, okay. How much in each one? Obviously, the rent is $250 a month, so we put that in the one to go back to them. And I think we said, what, 1,000 up front and then $100 a month, I think, for the other?
I think so in the lease,
In lieu, all right, so this, this
I'm gonna
is,
say-
step away from rent for a second.
Yeah,
right?
that's
This
fine.
is in lieu of the insurance.
Okay.
Okay, what I currently have is that we're gonna put $1,000 initially into an escrow account. And then there would be $300 per month paid into that escrow account to build up.
What else?
Okay, I mean, we changed this.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm telling you what I've got.
Oh, that's okay, Kelly, thank you.
And $300 a month would go into that escrow account with the idea of building that up in case there's a tragedy or,
Right.
and,
Yeah.
and we gotta, somehow clean up a mess.
Right. No,
Are those terms still,
What do you all think?
Those terms, that money is not refundable to the
That's
owner,
correct.
correct? That is,
Right.
and that money, you know, if we never use it, that money goes to the city of Maysville at the end of the lease or whatever. We don't refund that back to you. And
I would make a recommendation to change that, just me, to change that $300 to $100 a month. I don't think, I personally, I agree with him. I don't think it's gonna sink. And if somebody else hits it, it's gonna be on them to,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
my
it's gonna be
opinion.
all their
We'll do whatever you all
companies.
wanna do. I'm just thinking the investment they're making, to try to lower their burden somewhere else. Sorry, Kelly.
no problem. You know, I'm just here to
Yeah.
to put on
I'm gonna
paper
grab
what
a
you,
water real quick. That's right.
so I need to know what the amount is for the escrow account in lieu of having salvage insurance. Okay, so right now it's 1,000 up front, and I need to know the monthly amount.
What do you all want as the monthly?
I mean, ultimately, well, I mean, I look at this as an investment into an insurance policy too, that I'm ultimately just signing over. Because if we never use it, I mean, I feel like if we had to cut ties for some reason, or skippers needed to go somewhere else, I feel like that money would be ultimately partly ours.
Yeah, the reasoning, or the reason that we had, gone that route before we were dealing with you all, we were
Mhm.
dealing with previous.
Yeah, yes.
Is because we're taking a risk that we may end up having to be the ones that clean up.
yeah.
Uh,
And you wouldn't get your insurance money back if you were paying a premium. So,
I'm just looking at it a little different direction, I guess. I
Is
mean,
there money
no.
already there?
No, there's
Didn't he
no
have
money
to
already
do
there.
that? I'm sorry.
No, there's no money already there.
Well, and I think we could maybe lower the amount since they wouldn't get that back, that part.
Yeah, I mean, a salvage operation, you're probably looking at $30,000 to $50,000, with all rental stuff, not owning the equipment. I mean, I could bring in an excavator and have that thing out of there and, all of it scrapped out. I mean, we'd have to move it to a different site to clean the foam out, dispose of it. I would say that, I just feel like that would be an investment for, toward always knowing you had that there in case of something happening.
mhm.
Because ultimately, they're not gonna come after the city if it breaks loose. They're
No,
gonna
but
come
the city would
after
have to
us.
clean it up if it does something, if something does happen.
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm in favor of leaving it just at 300, just because, just a month or so ago, we were meeting with
Yeah.
potential owners, and that's what we agreed to, and I think in fairness, it's not right to then go back and say, oh, for you guys, we're gonna do a better deal.
yeah, I mean, like I said. the
But they
economy-
I
weren't
would kill
planning
yeah,
the
rent.
marina
I would kill
and
the
all
rent.
this
Kill
other
the
Yeah,
stuff.
kill the rent, but
And
then,
then come back every year to, if the business does take off, then adjust accordingly.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, I don't care to put
I just
$5,000 in
recommend
it. I'm
waiving
just
the
worried
rent
about I want
the
my
first
employees
year.
to be paid well. I want to know
If
we've
we're
got
going to
enough
keep
money to
that.
survive
Yeah.
with an economy that is crap right now.
Sure, and I think that's why we're talking about rent too,
Right.
not the salvage insurance.
Yeah.
What, I'm like Victor, what if you just waive the rent for a year?
Oh, yeah, that's what, what
And
I,
then
I'd recommend
put
waiving
this-
the rent for a while. If he's
Yeah.
gonna, if they're gonna spend $70,000 on
Right.
gas and all that, and then we can always come back.
Well,
We
it's
revisit
annual-
it
it's
every year.
annual,
It
right?
would be annual with an automatic renewal unless either party wants to break away, and that would have to be done at least, typically it's 30 days before, usually it's the end of May, 1st of June, so we can always come back, we don't have to,
think-
just so we don't have to do
prefer-
this every year.
I agree with him,
So
waive
that-
the rent.
Yeah.
And then put that back for insurance purposes.
Okay, so.
Two different issues here.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Okay, so rent, how about we do $1 a year for
Yeah.
Right.
a period of so many years? And then
3
we-
years.
Okay.
That would probably get me
That's
my
fine.
gas pump and everything back, and I'll do the 300 a month. No problem with the other thing. That'd be perfect.
How's that with everybody?
Well, Keith, aren't they putting the gas in at no charge?
No, not yet. I don't.
They
know,
always
Dave.
did. That's
Well,
all, I
I'm
mean,
buying the tank because if they purchase the tank, the $8,500 goes to $23,000. I can buy it and have it built to their specs for $8,500 at wholesale with my tax IDs we already have. So, with that being said, just that little bit of money, should be enough to put in the line. The line is like, they're charging like $90 a foot to put this line in the ground.
We measure 150,
It'll be,
180.
Yeah.
it'll be more than the line,
Oh, the line will be more than all of it.
It's $60.
No, if Valor picks up the check, if they pay for all the equipment to put it in just because I'm buying their gas, other than the tank, you know, ultimately, when I get the $8,500 back, you know, I'd be more than glad to put the rent back in
Well,
place.
I see the rent as like a contingency that this, what you say will happen. So I don't really see any issue with putting $250 a month back in an escrow account. That's your money that you're going to get back if your plans actually reach fruition. And I'm not casting doubt, I'm just saying that I don't think it's a good idea to enter into a business relationship on just, you know, a presentation.
Mhm. Okay. Got that?
Well, they can revisit it next month if we get it in.
Yeah, we're gonna sign it in April anyway, so we'll bring you some receipts and stuff, and you all can make a decision on what you'd like to see.
And how concrete is your marina plan back in there?
If we come up with the money, if I can raise the money, if we can come up with the 30,000 for the muscle study, that's the first thing it's gotta have.
After the
Okay, you know,
vessels-
we used to have a marina back in
I
there.
know,
Yes.
that's why I rented my first boat from
Yeah,
Tom.
I kept my boat back in
I-
there. But it had to be dredged,
Is that the
where it comes into the river
town?
every year.
Yeah,
And, as a matter of fact, the city did it. And we rented a long stick track hoe and, that went in the river. Do you remember this, David? Yeah.
Well, David was
We
telling me.
got the original permit, I've got the original permit upstairs.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what David was saying, that he's got a company that does some work for you all now, that'll run one of those for
Right.
$180 an hour. I mean, like, just pennies, you know what I mean, to keep something like that creating
Yeah.
60,000 in revenue and more jobs a year.
Okay.
And we've already talked to, the Coast Guard, and there is a blanket national marine permit out there right now that place will fall
That
under.
would fall under that blanket.
But we have to have the mussel study and these endangered mussels ruled out before we can put in the application for the dredging. So that's where we have to get the mussel study done first. And then it's just as concrete as whatever that mussel study comes out. Then if they say, give us a letter of, you know, bill of, it's good, then we can put in for this national marina, permit and the dredging, and it should be,
All the
that's as
permitting.
concrete as I've got right now. It's gonna depend on the mussel study.
David, will they let us dredge now with that mussel problem?
Yeah.
They
I
will.
mean, they have to look, do the study. But
Yeah.
that's what I was telling Keith yesterday, Third Rock Consulting Group has done a muscle study up and down the river for that flat grant. And I don't know if they've extended that far. See, they may have extended to that part, that's what I'm trying, I've sent him an email.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all coming,
Maybe
it's a
not.
lot going on before this
Well,
meeting.
and we talked to the Army Corps of Engineering, who's over our district yesterday, and he's looking into that also. Because we called him back and asked, you know, hey, is there a mussel study in this area that would include that we wouldn't have to go through this? So we're still waiting on some answers. You know, it's been kind of a short, I think we've been working on this for like a week and a half.
And I
about
think
this
that's why the
farm.
rent and escrow makes sense, because there's still a lot of unanswered questions.
So let me
understand.
just reiterate here, make sure I understand everybody. 2 escrow accounts, Kelly.
Yes, sir.
One for rent, $250 a month. The other one, an initial 1,000 plus 300 a month. Is that what I'm hearing from everybody? Is that what you all want? Or do you want to what? I mean, I got one rent, one waiving rent, some waiving rent. How do you guys want to
I understand not to
proceed?
charge the full 300 because he's putting an initial, you know, investment up there to start with in the rent account.
Okay, no, okay.
I'm workable on that.
I understand. So,
Man, do one at a time.
okay. The salvage
Please.
escrow, basically, we'll call it salvage escrow, is, Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, $1,000 up front
Correct.
and roughly 300 a month, or $3,600 a year. however they would wanna do it.
Right now it says 300 per month,
Okay, so
1,000 upfront.
that's your
300
salvage
per month.
escrow.
Okay.
The other, what Robert is saying is have a rent escrow, $250 a month, and then we can revisit, depending on how, whatever they're spending, and give that money back to them. The salvage escrow would be
Would
ours.
stay.
It would stay as ours, just like if they were paying insurance. The other one, we can revisit and give them, Robert, is that correct, and give that back to them?
Yeah, all I'm
Give
saying
that
is
back
I
to
would
them.
just like to see some investment before
See their investment
any
into it.
agreement is done to waive rent or anything.
And again, we
Could
can
he
make
draw-
that.
Could he possibly build that up and draw from that?
Yeah, we can make that as the initial, and then what's gonna happen, Kelly's gonna write a lease that says, okay, this starts on April 15th, 2026, automatically renews on July 1st, 2026. We could come back before July 1st of 27 and renegotiate, if we wanted to. We could see the receipts, and you all might say, my God, you all put all this up, let's kill this rent for
Yeah.
4
Well, we
years.
talked to two salvage
You know?
companies just to clean up that dock and stuff off the bank, and it's $13,000 was the cheapest bid I got to clean that up, and it's already gone. That eyesore's out of your city in 2 days with me and my wife.
So you're saying the rent's basically a savings account? for
Yes,
them?
yes, pretty much.
It's just so that you all see some
Yeah.
money's coming from us,
Yes.
not
And then we give it
just
back to them.
saying that we're gonna
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
this, I understand.
And I understand the cash flow, especially with the economy, but if you're talking numbers like $70,000 investment, $250 a month, in my understanding, should not be an issue. If that money's going into escrow.
I
and
look at
it's-
every penny, I'm sorry, I grew up with zero.
Yeah, so did I. And I'm
So
not
I
trying to
look at
argue
every
with that.
penny as very.
I'm just saying, what I'm hearing from a slide deck is you're gonna make all this investment and you're wanting the rent waived. But there's no, right now, we haven't seen anything other than a slide deck.
Well, I mean, we have, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I see it.
And we can, and we'll revisit, like I said, when we come back, we'll hopefully have most
Have
of
some
that in
receipts for the
motion.
tank and.
Yeah.
So you guys are ready?
So if I'm
sorry, just another
understanding,
detail. Can I get a good address for?
6560.
For that
State Highway
location,
1050?
Yes.
yeah, that's our mailing
Yeah, that's
address.
our mailing address for now.
Okay,
I'm
I
sorry,
think
Ms.
I've got what I
Cottrell.
need. Thanks.
All right.
Lose your train
Like
of
you
thought.
said, what I'm understanding is what you started out with.
well, I want to clarify, so if Commissioner Boone is saying that he needs proof, if you all spend the money that you're talking about for the gas, that's right away, right? So it might only be a month or so before you have those receipts in here to show that investment.
Well, the reason I wanted to, a little bit of shock and, like I wanted to get that mess off the bank, because that's a salvage operation. I mean, you're dealing with, a lot of crap. I just wanted everybody to come in and gain a little bit of clout or respect, for like, hey, that's been sitting there for 2 years and this guy got it done in a week. Like,
What did you take off the bank?
that big dock that flipped over and they drug it up on the bank,
Yeah.
show him the.
That's right here.
Propane tank, I don't
Yeah.
know.
That dock was built out of a semi-trailer and a propane.
We
tank.
took like there was like 6 bags of trash that we picked up off the bank
Okay.
out there.
We also cleaned off all of the,
So right here in the before,
It's not
That looks good.
it's not a.
don't we wish?
Raise the insurance.
Is that the other one?
I don't see anything.
yeah,
Oh, you're fine.
Could be, get a couple estimates on the salvage and then cap it, say 80 grand.
We'll go from there, okay.
Once he reaches that stop. And says in 300.
So this picture,
blow that picture up.
um,
Magnifying
Can you click on it? The picture itself? There you go.
So that's what was there when we purchased it.
That down at the left-hand side, David's gonna point to it,
Right.
right there.
That and some other things laying down on the dock.
you see that big tree hanging out there in the front,
Yeah.
just hung up?
Yeah.
And then those tanks, they look small on there, but those were 500
Yeah, 500
gallon
gallon
propane
cylinders.
tanks. One
Has
of
it
them
been
was
turned into a
full,
dock?
plumb full of water that we sat out there and I drove a Dodge truck and jerked it off the bottom of the bank, we pulled it all the way up. And then had to torch it and cut it all
Show them the
apart.
after picture.
So, oh, wait a minute.
Below that one.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah, so that's what it looks like today.
that looks great.
Yeah, well, and we want people to keep saying that.
Mhm.
We got all the roof paint orders, we're gonna paint the red roofs and.
And you were talking about the docking and like spreading out the docking, so you see the small building there, he's behind the big barge. He's gonna move that up, and then we're gonna have 160 more feet of dock space.
We should have over
Uh,
300 feet, two sides of docks.
Yeah, and it's gonna open all that other, that center, there's docking there, it'll open all that up for boat parking. And all, it's gonna spread it out.
Mhm.
Now, Matt, when we give money to other things annually, you always require a profit and loss.
You can require whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, don't you think that's prudent?
Well, yeah, not really, because if you're talking a private entity versus a nonprofit entity.
Mhm.
No, I don't think we have any business in seeing what they're,
You were not giving them anything.
yeah, just seeing what they're, it's different when you're giving $10,000 to an
We
organization.
were told it cleared $80,000. I've yet to verify any of that. So that's not,
Yeah,
that's
I've
not a
heard
real
that.
good number if you.
So we
if
saw
that
on the
helps.
spreadsheet, but not,
Yeah,
The
spreadsheets
I
are,
haven't seen bank records.
spreadsheets are like that.
You can
yeah.
make them anything you want. I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay,
But-
Well,
real
and I
quick,
know
let
how-
me get back to the,
I know how important cash flow is to the success of a business, so I understand what you're asking. And a lot of times that cash flow determines whether a business is successful or fails.
Right.
okay, so everybody agrees on the escrow. For the salvage, $1,000 up front, $300 a month. What do you wanna do on rent? What's the consensus on rent, so Kelly knows how to draft that into the $250 a month, waive it? What's the consensus here, so he knows what to draw into the,
Personally, I like Kelly's recommendation of $1 a year, but to look at it annually. And and hopefully, and I will be praying that you are successful, then we can adjust that accordingly,
you can?
right? I mean, that's just my thinking.
Okay.
No, it's a minuscule amount of money, but that's an employee's paycheck when they're serving. I mean, like I said, that's, I'm trying to make an impact and show you we're gonna do everything we can to build this into what it used to be.
So right now, I got two proposals. I got $250 a month, I got $1 a year. You want $250 a month, raise your hand.
Well, I want $250 a month, that's escrow money, that's your money.
Right,
Once an
right,
investment happens.
right.
And
Give
that's
it
it.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get
once
it.
an investment happens.
Okay, $250.
Well, how about up to $250? What if he has a slow month? Can he put $50 in or $100?
Yeah, I
Since
would
it's his
agree
money.
with that, that what he could afford to pay in escrow.
It's
that will-
$250. Like I said, it's not a lot of money. I just, I'm trying to take,
I'll tell you what, how
and give
about,
you all the $80-some thousand grant money back to you. I'm gonna be one foot in the bill to put the gas in probably. And that ultimately returns that back to your all's community to do more things.
how about this, $250 a month? And annually, once we see receipts, every year, that money, that 500, that's $3,000 goes back to us. Each year. Does that make sense?
I like
We'll
that.
see the receipts, we'll know that he spent $70,000. So each year, you put it in, and each year, gets refunded back. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Is that a reasonable compromise with
Are
everybody?
you saying just put up the $250?
Put the $250 up a month, or he can put in there $3,000 up front, and then at the start of the fiscal year, give it back to him, he does it again.
Or just
I
leave it
didn't
in
hear
there.
what Victor said. I mean,
So Brent's paid
Victor, I didn't hear what you said.
until we get
What's that?
The last thing that you shared, your,
Oh, I just agreed with Kelly, $1 a year and,
Yeah.
that's-
Renew it every year.
But I did ask Matt,
Or
and I don't
redo.
want to beat this dead horse too much longer, but I did ask Matt about the salvage, Kelly. What about if we get 2 or 3 estimates on salvage, okay, or they do,
Yeah.
and then say it's $100,000 to clean that up, okay? Well, what if, once they reach that, they can stop. They cap it, and that way they save 300 a month there.
Yeah, we can write that in.
It's just a suggestion, I mean.
Yeah, so this lease is gonna be yearly and with an annual renewal clause.
Correct.
So, I mean, by the time we get to 100,000 into that escrow account, we're gonna be many,
Dead.
many years down the road.
Yep.
It was just an idea.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to expedite this and speed it along.
I mean,
I'm
I'll
not
write it in
retired, I
there.
gotta go work.
But just example, you know, they said we priced $13,000 to clean up that stuff on the bank, that, you know, on the riverbank, and we did all of that, you know, the two of us. So that, you know, in Saturday, Sunday, just for a comparison to, you know, and that's what he's saying is that the salvage, if this was, you know, if something astronomical was to go, you know, we would ultimately probably be your cleaner uppers. You know, we would be that salvage
KRCA,
person.
another company of ours.
Because we do that for actually on another, we have another
And this,
entity.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
So the lease ultimately puts the cleanup on your all's responsibility, even though we understand that if, the lease says that you guys are responsible. If the thing sinks, you all gotta clean it up. But
Right.
we're, you know, to protect us is the idea behind the escrow account. In case you don't have the resources to clean it up, you know, your LLC.
So that money wouldn't be used to clean it up if something did happen?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're wanting to build up that fund in lieu
Right.
of,
No, I'm with
in
you.
lieu of an insurance.
Right. It's
Right.
in lieu of salvage
Yeah,
But the primary responsibility would be the building's owner
yeah.
Right.
Right.
for the vessels.
I have one more, I have a question. So, I think we're settling on 200, as far as rent, okay, let's get away from the salvage.
Okay.
Okay, monthly rent, 250 a month. And this rent shall be refundable to you all upon what? What do you gotta show us before?
I guess proof of investment.
Yeah,
Instead of you all spending your grant money,
yeah,
you know, we're,
that's the way to put it.
That will have it up.
And
and if Valor Oil does it, we're all winning. But, you know, we are looking at a management contract on this,
So-
for another thing, that, like, we were just looking at every worst-case scenario of the way the economy is.
So investment equal then or greater than the rent amount is what I would probably say, something like that.
Well, I want that $80,000 protected though.
All right, I think I got what I need.
Okay. All right. Thank you all.
And I think you
We'll have I'll have this on, you don't have to be here. I'll have this on the agenda for April 9th, and, the next day, you guys stop in, sign it, be good to
hopefully
go.
we'll be open right after that.
That sounds
Yep.
good. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we gotta be there at 11.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep. Good seeing you, Victor.
You'll
Y'all
see
take
us.
care.
Thank you so
Congratulations.
much.
Look forward to eating with you all.
Thank you.
You too, thank you all.
Thank you.
Anything.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
All right, are we adjourning? I gotta go. Are we leaving? Are we done, man? I gotta go.
No, we're good.
What? I gotta go. I'm tired.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can get out of here,
no, that's
but you can.
I have a resolution authorizing the lease of College Creek.
We have, Mayor and Commissioners, Kelly has a resolution ready to authorize the lease if you all wanna go on and do that, and I'd be glad to give you, when he sends it to me, give you a copy of it.
What's another 60 seconds?
All right?
Do you want them to stay?
I'm sorry?
Or you want them, they're leaving?
They don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
Okay. Resolution authorizing lease with Skipper's River Cafe be resolved by the city of Maysville, Kentucky, that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute a lease with Keith and Amanda Mason, DBA Skipper's
2026.
2026 LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Boone,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cartmel,
I want to abstain on this.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes.
Mayor Cottrell.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Budget session.
All right, David, I'm gonna start with you. What do you have? We'll start with you and then go to Luke and Darren, because you're involved with all three of them. So we'll start, if you have your papers, probably it's the very back. With engineering.
Hold on, Matt.
The last two pages.
Yeah, it should be the last 2 pages of what I gave you. If you don't have it, I'll get you a copy. Yeah, right there, Ann. Yes, ma'am.
No, that's,
That's Kyle's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, there's more in there. There you go. Everybody good on what you, on engineering? All right, Dave, go ahead.
no,
Uh,
oh, no. Next.
The first two things you see up there are the generator for the police department and a generator for the one here at City Hall. Both of those generators, the one at the police department is the same age as the remodel over there, which is 20 plus, 25, 23, something like that. And the one here is the same age as this remodel here, which is 30 plus years ago. And the problem we're running into is when we do have a problem with them, they can't get parts. And that's the biggest issue with this. And our maintenance, if we go ahead and get these new ones, if we go ahead and do these new generators, that's the estimated cost for each one. Basically, that'll help too with our maintenance contract. It kind of lowers your base when you get something, it's like a new car, it gets a warranty, so. But those are two critical places. We had some problems over at the police department. We were lucky this year, this winter, that we had some people that helped us with that. We went to local parts stores open at night. We got parts to fix different ones, and we're just lucky we didn't have something go down, at that time. So this one here is critical because our phone system actually operates out of this basement that goes across the road to the police department. People don't really understand that, but the police department used to be here. It's been here all, of course. That's why everything was, so that's something down the road that we're trying to talk, have to go a little bit about it, but we'll have to be talking about too, is moving probably the whole brain center over there and see if we're second. So that may be something that comes with that, but that ain't part of this cost. So that's the first two things I've got. Public Works 2, emergency management roof, we did a third of it, well, a little more than a third of it this year, but this is the price to do the rest of it. Be the east and west end. We actually got the center part of it done, the actual emergency management part, and basically the meeting room up front. So, but that's the price to do the rest of that. Kenton Commonwealth Building, HVAC work, we continually have problems down there with that HVAC. And this is to rework a lot of the internal stuff in the ductwork. And that's one of our biggest problems. We have most of our big units on top of the roof that are done. They're completely, taken care of. It's just some of the internal stuff now that we need to work on in the ductwork. West Third Street roadway repair, that's kind of a normal.
That's typically in your operating, isn't it?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, that's usually, that's in his operating budget.
Which one are we talking
So
about?
wait.
The 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth one down, West Third,
Fifth,
yeah, it's in operating.
So that comes out of the.
Yeah, yeah.
Garage doors, Public Works 2, that's what I've got left to replace the rest of the doors out there. And that's mainly over on the side where Tony has some vehicles stored and things. Not used quite as much, but again, those are the ones with glass in them, and they're pretty dangerous. Fire Station 1, this is right over here. Basically, we got an estimate to paint everything outside and repair the box. We got a lot of box gutter problems. There's a lot of ornamental stuff on the building. That, if you look at it, it's getting in pretty bad shape. The whole building, and it's really time consuming painting that. We did it, I did it about 8 years ago. So, and it's went up, well, it's doubled in price, that's it, what it costs to do it. So, that's where we're at with it. Limestone Creek Pump Station 2, this will be the final pump to repair, $425,000. That's the cost to take it out, put it in, rebuild the pump, rework the motor. I had this on here last year, the Seal and Strike Maple Leaf Road Trail. We didn't do it last year, so there it is again. My asphalt patching and repair, that's normally what we ask for the 50,000 for that. Cox Building, Tuck Point Chimney Gutters. If you go up in the upstairs of that, you'll see a lot of the white on the inside of the brick. It's taking water from the top, is what it's doing. And there's the chimneys, the very top floor, some of the cap around the top, the parapet wall and stuff, needs work done on it. But this was the estimate to take care of all that, and they wanna cap the chimneys off, because we don't have any vents or anything in there, and it takes a lot of water, we end up getting varmints of some type in there, it seems like, over time. That's something that really needs to be done to restore, to take care of that building. Cox Building, we got, the units down there, 13 years old since the fire, 14. They just continue to fade out. And that's why I try to put, we've replaced 3 this year, it'll be 3 again next year. They're about 7,000 feet.
But they're not working at all, are they?
Some of them do, some of them don't. It depends on what floor you're on.
Okay.
And they operate, you know, they're variable how they operate. They're,
Well, in the tourism office, they've been working out of that middle room because
yeah, we got that one replaced now.
okay.
That would have been downstairs anyway.
There's different ones that just keep, you know, going out. And again, you can't get parts for those. Whenever something gets older, I mean, it's difficult to get parts for. Flood walls falling, we continue to work on that, but that's part of our stuff that we have to do to stay in good graces with the Corps and keep our rating with the flood wall, so that we can continue to have our insurance downtown, floods, so that people don't have to have flood insurance. Kenton Commonwealth Building flooring on the first and second floor, it's in real bad shape. All that. The offices, I'm talking about interior offices, we've done some of the hallways, but we never went inside the offices and done those. And all that's in pretty bad shape, but some of that's the age of the building, again, 19 years old, 20 years old. Cox Building windows, first and third floor, I've got several of them that are leaking, and that's, once we repair if we do repair the bricks and do our work there and do the chimney, we wanna go ahead and try to get these windows done next. But if we get a driving rain from the north or the west, we always have leakage. And, you know, it comes in, you see it on the floor, see it on the window seals, and it's not good. But that again was, we had to repair that when they did that building. They're single pane windows, wood frames, and it's just continual work on it. Caulking, glazing, sealing, stuff like that. The Limestone Creek gate well, that's the big one down there. That's the price to put the pipe from Limestone Creek to the river.
For the fourth.
For the fourth pump. It's $2.5 million. That was the bid that we got late last fall. But that's got a contingency of 10% in it, so, there's a little money there, but that's about what it'll be. We had a lot of different things that happened with our awnings and gutters this year. When we had the ice storm, that's kind of the price to replace some of those awnings over at the police department, here at City Hall, and then the gutters and ice guards. And the old Washington sidewalks is down there, the last on the list, which, we talked about that a little bit, but I've tried, we went in and identified a lot of those that I think we can repair out there and do a lot better to keep, you know, I'm trying to stay away from Columbia Gas, what they're gonna do, but repair as many of those as we can. And that's a good price, you know, to, basically, you're putting them back, you're taking them up, you're putting them back, you're putting something underneath them that holds them stable, and then they put sand under them, and mortar to hold them in place, basically. It's a new way of doing it. It's kinda like we do bricks downtown now, if we get, have a problem down there, so. That's kinda where we're at. I don't think Columbia Gas will do enough work to ever replace all of those. I really don't, so it depends on if we wanna, go ahead and take that and do it, That's basically the summary of mine. Any questions, I'll be glad to answer, but all this stuff it's needed. It's maintenance, most of it, except for the Limestone Creek gate well,
I just got one question.
Yeah.
The Kenton Commonwealth building. I mean, that building's paid for. What do we do with, can't we not use rent monies to repair that? Are you using that, Melissa?
I mean, that's where it would,
It goes under
yeah,
general
it goes, yeah,
fund.
that's
It
where
goes
it would,
under general
yeah.
fund.
All right,
Yeah.
so it's.
But I mean,
so
you
that-
It's an in and an out.
So you'll just take, okay, that's all we need, all
Yeah.
right.
I have a question too. I know you mentioned a few historic properties, and I know with the nonprofit, with the Kentucky Tax Credit program for historic properties, a nonprofit obviously isn't taxable, but what they can do is they can claim those tax credits and then sell them to an entity, an intermediary, where people with a tax liability can then purchase them, but the nonprofit reaps the benefit of the tax credit. Can local governments do that and operate like a nonprofit in that regard with Kentucky tax credits? Because you can earn like hundreds of thousands of dollars back, depending on what the investment is with selling tax credits.
we can check into that.
Yeah.
You talking about with the Cox building?
With the Cox building as one example, but it's up to a certain percentage of the initial investment. And of course, this government isn't taxed, but the tax credits can be sold on a marketplace where people can then purchase them. But the nonprofit or in this case, the governmental entity would reap the benefit of the initial tax credit.
I'd be happy to check into that.
Dave, is that, Limestone Creek pump number 2, is that one of the original pumps?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the originals. This never had anything, once we get this one done, we'll have them all basically rebuilt and done.
Oh, okay.
3, we got the new one, that was part of the grant. So
Yeah.
we got 4 down there, but then they'll all be reworked.
Okay.
They actually, I think they performed well, the last time we used them, we had, they did great. Of course, all the pump stations been upgraded. The only thing that hasn't been done is the pipe from the Limestone Creek to the river. And that's part of that, the $2.5 million. But this is to redo that pump and the motor. And they've been there for 80 years, 78, 75.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Any other questions for David on engineering? We will look at some of these items that David has in there now to see if we have operating money currently available for this fiscal year to do some of those projects, and we'll let you know at our next budget meeting if we could maybe go on and do those this year instead of next year. Okay? Okay, Luke, you guys want to flip back a few pages and we'll go to Public Works? Should look like this.
It's page number 2.
Yeah, should look like that.
All right, the first 2 I've got there, I don't have a whole lot on here, but, I've got 2 dump beds that I need to replace on our, salt trucks. The truck is still good. It's a steel bed that we currently have on there, and it's rusted with holes everywhere in it. We had to patch one of them last winter. So you all granted us a new dump truck last budget season that we bought this year, and we just got it in, and it's got a stainless steel bed on it which will last much longer. So that's what we're looking to put on these new trucks, is a stainless steel bed on each of them. And I think I said in the first go-around was, you know, if it does come up, we have one that's way worse than the other one. So if it does come up, then it's, let's say, over the 12, then I could just do one this year and one next year. I contacted the rep about pricing. I still haven't heard exactly what the price is gonna be, so that's why I put the 12,000 in there. So he's gonna get back with me on a definite price, but I'm flexible on, you know, if it's 15,000, just leave the other one out, and, you know, just get one, and then replace another next year. So the third one there, I've got a Packer listed 20 yard. That is, we've had talks with Rumpke about, you want me to go into that, or?
Sure, yeah, but we're still waiting on pricing. but-
Yeah, we've had talks with Rumpke about possibly running our dumpster out and providing us roll-offs for town cleanup. So we would have minimum amount of, I guess, use for the Packer. So the ones that we have now, they would work for what we would have to do.
Basically, you know, one of the 5 of them calls me and says, man, we got a mess here. I get a hold of you, we send a Packer down to clean it up.
Yeah, they would work for what, that,
That
aspect of things.
situation, yeah,
you know, if they don't take over, we're gonna need a new Packer.
yeah.
So, you know, we're running the dumpster out twice a week, and then we're doing town cleanup.
Basically, once we get pricing from them, we'll let you all know, but, you know, if it all works out, that obviously, you're spending a lot of overtime when we do those town cleanups. That would cut, you know, that would take that out. So, you know, it's just gonna see where's that balance. So once we get pricing, we'll let you all know.
Okay.
So I got that priced at, number 3 there. The 4th one there is the telehandler, which y'all granted me that last year, and we had to spend that money on salt this year.
But we're thinking, might be able to go on and,
Yeah.
you feel like there's money there now to go on and get that, even though it is in the budget, so, you know, it was approved that we could go on and get that. Go ahead.
You had enough money in your salt budget to cover the salt that you did.
Okay, gotcha.
I think you only had like $1,200.
So then why don't we go on and bid that out and see what we get, and then we can bring that to
I've
you.
got a bid that he bid me last year. It's still valid. I called him a week or so ago. He said it's still valid, and if I wanna, you know, pull the trigger on that machine, you know, totally have the money to do it.
Good.
5th one there, trailer to pull heavy equipment. Currently, we have a bumper pull, trailer. We're overloading it with the machines that we have right now. So when you pull onto it, if you pull our skid steer on there, the back end of the truck raises way off the ground. So safety is not the best. We had a guy come out and quote us a new trailer. It was $27,000 for a new one. It'd be a gooseneck trailer. But we could trade in the trailer that we have or sell it outright. And they were looking, he was thinking somewhere, we sell it outright, $5,000 or $6,000. If we traded it in, $3,000 or $4,000. So that's that one there.
And you've got a new old truck to pull it with, correct?
Yeah, we do.
That we got from, well, it was ours. It was being utilized by Buffalo Trace Search and Rescue. They were getting a new truck, so Luke went out, took a look at it,
It's a super nice truck.
put minimal into it, and, yeah, it's a good truck. It's a really good truck.
Yeah,
Is that a dual wheel trailer?
this trailer,
Yeah.
it should be, yeah.
No, I mean, not just tandem axle, but dual wheels on each.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so that's, you know, that's kind of.
And the trailer you want to get rid of, is that the one that has the lights torn off of it?
No, it's just a single wheel, and
Oh,
it's-
okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's just a single wheel.
Alright.
That trailer that you're talking about, is in the shop, we refurbished that trailer.
Okay,
So ground it down, sanded, painted, new wood and everything on it, and we pull it with a dump truck.
oh, okay,
So we couldn't pull it with a pickup truck. This would be one for a pickup truck.
okay.
So that we could, we had our backhoe go out for a transmission repair. We have to call somebody to come get it, because we can't haul it.
How's that coming along?
It's done, it's finished.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we could do a lot more with hauling stuff with a pickup truck if we did have something like that. And that's definitely up to you all on what you wanna do there, so. The last one I have there, which Matt and I talked about this one, shop vehicles. My guys have went through our vehicles and taken pictures, got me, year, make, model, mileage, everything like that, and then they have a kind of an expense report on the maintenance side of things, and I have that, whenever you all wanna see it. We have several trucks, I know we have one right now, when you get in to drive it, you can see the blacktop. It's not a high mileage truck or anything, it's just been abused, honestly.
It's been used,
Yeah.
used a lot.
Yeah, so.
Did you say used or abused?
He said abused, I said used a lot. I don't think we've abused
How do you see
it.
the blacktop?
Yeah, that's
How
not
do you
good.
see that?
Huh?
Through the floorboard?
Well, I
yeah.
know that, but what causes that?
It's just
To be
rust.
under
Just
abuse?
rust.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just rust, yeah.
Yeah, rust. So, and it's like a 97, I think, something like that. But, we have a couple other trucks, they're constantly in the shop. Transmission repairs, anything to do with the truck, I mean, it's constantly got issues. So we're just looking to either, if I have money left over in this budget, buy one or two, or buy one or two with the money I'm asking here. I'm flexible on either. And I'm not looking for a brand new truck. We can get something with, lower mileage, have our mechanics look at it, see if that would work for us. I mean, we don't wanna buy nothing that we're gonna have to put a bunch of money in. Something like the truck we got from Search and Rescue would be great. I mean, the one we got from them has 55,000 miles on it. It's a 97, it's been taken very great care of. So, that's kind of what we're looking for. And it would be fleet vehicles for the guys to drive. That's what we're looking into. The only other one that you don't see on there, I put down, yesterday, and I talked to Matt this morning about it. We've got wraps for our Christmas lights, our poles that wrap around the pole. Those are getting in very bad shape. They're like 20-some years old, so, the guys are putting them up and the wires are breaking, they're having to splice them back together. They don't look the best. So that's something we would like to put in the budget there. And I can, if you need a number now, I can throw a number out there, but I'm not exactly sure on.
Well, I think as I was telling you this morning, between now and summertime is when they really reduce,
Yeah.
they reduce the costs on these.
And that's something I may be able to buy.
We may be able to go and buy those. We'll look at your operating
Yeah, our operating
now, see where you're at.
And that's the same with the trucks, the vehicles. I could possibly have enough in there left to buy one or two.
You guys have any questions for Luke? All right.
Thank you.
Flip to the next page and you'll have utilities. Should say capital budget 2627 at the top.
Alrighty, West Third Street, line replacement from Wall Street to Rosemary Clooney steps. Back in '21, they replaced from Wall Street to actually here, right here close to Bridge Street. Well, from Wall Street up to where the Rosemary cleaning steps are, I'm not joking, there's probably at least 25 repair plants in there. And it's on a 10-inch line. Well, I'd like to replace that with 8-inch PVC, and I can't remember how many feet it was, but I'm telling you, I've been in there several times, and it needs to be replaced. Number two, the new Razwas pump, we actually just purchased one this year, there's 3 in there. And what the Razwas pumps do, they pump sludge from part of the aerators back to the front of the plant, or they pump to the digesters, which the digesters hold the sludge and pump it and take it to the press, where we press the sludge and haul it off to the landfill. Right now, hopefully we're doing new upgrades here within the next few years, and that will actually help out greatly with that. The new sludge pump, the sludge pump that I was telling you, that's different from this, is actually the pump that pumps from the digesters to the press. And it's like 25 years old. And it's worm gear, and I can explain it if you need me
Is it a diaphragm pump?
to. No.
Okay.
The truck for $40,000, what we had go down was a Colorado, a 4-wheel drive Colorado that we were using for on-call. And of course, I like for it to be 4-wheel drive because you have winter time and you have meters like out in the middle of fields and stuff like that. It's really handy for the on-call person. We had it go down. What I'd like to do, depending on the truck I might be able to find, if mine right now is actually a WT and it has 58,000 miles on it, I could give that to them and then I could use the truck.
Is it four-wheel drive?
It's 4-wheel drive. And it's got the rubber floor and easy to clean out and, you know.
That's not your Honda, is it?
No, no,
Okay.
no. Actually, Bradley's using that right now.
Okay.
Water valve replacements, I mean, we have a lot here, especially downtown, that we need to replace. I got one on Fifth Street right now that's probably about 12 foot deep. That's coming off that main trunk line, coming off the reservoir, that we definitely need replaced. There's several, actually in the system, there's like, if we plan on doing the one down there by Ben's Car Wash, there's several large 16-inch valves in there that we need to get replaced so we'll be able to do the job in the future. The VLR paddle replacements, I don't know if y'all been down to the sewer plant, but you'll see these big round paddles, or 6 of them. Well, 3 of them right now are down because of the bearings, and they run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they need to be replaced, because they help keep oxygen into the system to help with the bugs that help with your sludge. Distribution water crew member. We were actually last year, me and Matt talked about this, we were down 2 people, and of course last year was just pure hell. And we had to end up preparing, getting H&S and other contractors in here that we were blessed with to come in here and help us. Well, if we can get one more guy, I can actually separate them into 2 crews and put them, like, instead of taking everybody and working on a main break and wearing them out, I can actually maybe separate them into 2 different groups where they could actually alternate. That way, if somebody works all night, then they can actually have the option to go home and the other crew can actually take place. Truck bed for the Chevy 3500. Right now, we have a regular bed on it. We purchased it, I think, back in 21 or 22, and it's a dually. And we use it to actually pull our track hoe around with, and it does an excellent job. Well, right now, we keep those sludge, or the trash pumps on them, and they're pretty heavy, and it's hard to put over the top of the bed and get them out and all that. What I'd like to do is get me a flatbed with a couple places that actually they make with like little tool doors up underneath of it. And estimated right at around $8,000.
You just did the distribution labor.
Oh,
Go,
I-
it's okay, Darren, go back up to the building.
building.
Yeah, sorry.
I've been, like, with security and stuff the way it is right now, like, people are very scared, and plus maybe in the future we can have a new water plant. We'll probably still be able to use the old one for a pump house to help pump water up to the new one. Right now, the only way that we can get good security right now for that is to get the distribution crew out there. Because it's not their fault, but they're in and out there all day, getting meters, gaskets, parts, you know, there are break rooms in there.
At the water plant.
At the water plant. And it makes it difficult right now that you can't just keep the gate closed, you know, and open it, keep it closed, it's just gonna wear it out. So if we could get maybe a new building, which I've talked to David, and maybe get something right now with a couple bays in it to where we can actually keep our equipment warm. Because right now, most of it's diesel, and in the wintertime, y'all know diesel stuff is really hard to keep, you know, to start and everything else. But it would really help out if we could have something to where they could keep this equipment and stuff like that. And plus, it would also help if we, like I was talking to David, if we had a training room to keep, we could have a place for like Division of Water to come and actually help do a lot of training that we have to keep our licenses and stuff like that.
David, that lot over there between Frito-Lay and the fire training building, about an acre or so, isn't it?
It's a little bigger than
Yeah,
that, yeah.
we own a lot right there, which will be, and when he talks about training, Chief's not using the fire training building, you could probably do your training classes there. So that's, you know, two birds, one stone. And you want to mention the rollover, obviously, we're working on the engineering on those projects now.
Right, you know, right now, a lot of it is having to do with CSX giving us permits to go under the tracks. We're just waiting on that. Right now is a big part of it.
How long we been waiting?
8 months.
Probably. Yeah, because we started that project right after what they were approved for this fiscal year. And those, you know, those were the ones that I explained that would not hit in this, the engineering would hit in this fiscal year, but not the actual construction projects.
And plus, we're still waiting for grants and other opportunities to pay for what's rolled over.
What about the intake from the river? Are we looking to work on that?
Allied, we've contacted Allied, and we are actually on that, trying to get that done right now. Right now, we've actually did a lot of blow off. I don't know, I've explained to you all, but every time we shut the plant down, we have this big, massive, like, tank that holds air and shoots air out, and we've been able to actually blow a lot of debris and stuff off of it right now. But the repair to the other one is still in the works. It's,
Just
the diving crew wasn't there for a while. You had ice on the river, and they did not feel like that was a safe way to do it. Then the river was up, and we're just trying to work through it.
Do you still have that screen over the end of it? Or is that,
On one of them right now, the other one that's actually shut off right now doesn't have the screen on
okay, all
it.
right.
That needs repaired.
Good. Thank you, Darren, you can get out of here. Chief Boggs, his looks like this. You're going last, because I'm gonna be here anyway. You got a new one?
Oh, thank you.
Chief, you have any extra?
Here we go. I'm gonna pass these down.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, there you go.
I revised it late last week.
Thank you.
He revised it.
And I was able to eliminate a couple items, finding funding in other places or in this current year's budget. But I did add one, you'll see that big question mark at the bottom, we'll get to it. It's ridiculous, I want to tell you how ridiculous it is. So, new duty pistols, as I went over last week's meeting, they get shot, we qualify 2 to 4 times a year. So you put a lot of rounds through the barrels, and they're about 7, 8 years old, and it's about time to trade those in. That's one item that you get the most for if you trade them all in at once versus replacing a little at a time.
And that's, you're thinking about $6,500 potentially get traded in on?
And I think when we clean the armory out, I think we're gonna be able to
Yeah.
get more.
Yeah.
From just weapons that have been in there and they're just sitting there for nostalgia and we don't need them. We don't need them. We can trade them in and get money back on those. Same with the rifles. We need all new rifles, but that's one thing that we can do a little at a time, and I think 15's a good number. These are, they're 15 years old. I mean, we're looking 10 to 15 years old. And the technology has, come up to date, and it just, it's a safer rifle on the market now. That again, I don't know each individual rifle. We have different brands, so I didn't get an estimate on trade-in value for those, but we'll get a trade-in value on those.
So Patrick, these are cost, but not the savings that you would get, so from the trade-in?
The 6,500 for the pistols is accurate. It's basically I think $270, $280 a pistol will get trade-in.
Mhm.
Now, the rifles, I have no way of telling you right now, we take the guns to the shop where we decide to get them.
Did you figure in that trade-in price to the money in this right-hand, is this net or gross?
That's what we'll be spending, and then we need to deduct.
Oh, deduct the, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you're looking about 50,000 for weapons. I'm gonna estimate that we can get total about 15,000 in trade-in, maybe more. The ammunition, that's the annual cost. We just, like I said, we qualify 2 to 4 times a year. We do have some people that need to qualify more.
Patrick, that ammunition is probably in your operating.
Is it?
We'll look.
Sorry.
If it is, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
We'll look at it. If it is, we can take that off.
Okay. Portable radios, at last meeting, I put in for 10, I knocked that down a couple. That's something we probably need to not replace as many at once, that way they're all going bad at once. We need to sporadically replace those. And the price is different than the last one I submitted, we actually got the quote in, so it's a little less.
And Chief, those are probably, we could probably go after Homeland Security money for those, couldn't we?
I have to see where that question mark grant was.
Gotcha, okay.
Or question.
Oh, okay,
number
I got you,
7.
I got you,
Yeah,
fair enough.
I think it's a Homeland
Okay,
Security grant.
all right.
New vehicles, again, this is just a number, we need bodies to put in the vehicles, more than we need the vehicles. The reason why I put 8 on there is due to the increase in price, and it's ridiculous. 7% going up from 26 to 27, and even more in 28. So,
And we're looking at lease to own, like we did, what, 10, 11 years ago? Yeah. So we're looking at that as well, where we could pay them off over 3 years.
and like David said too, the maintenance, our
Yeah.
maintenance bill will go down, so we'll save a little bit on those.
Yep.
As well as either the selling of our current ones or trade-in. Two new, they should be in, they said 45 to 60 days.
Good.
So, the K-9, this is not, the sheriff's office has one and they've agreed to let us use it, until we decide which direction we're going. So this is a question mark too, whether we do it this year or the next budget year. I put it on there, that's the cost of the new K-9 training and building a kennel at the handler's house and the supplies. We do need to make a determination of what we're gonna do with the current K-9. Officer Fraley is not Deputy Fraley, and he has agreed, he still has a K-9 at his house and is taking care of the K-9. By his word, and by talking to the trainer over in Ohio who trained that K-9, there's about 3 years left on the serviceability of that animal, but it could be less if our legislators legalize marijuana, because it's trained in marijuana, and then it becomes a moot point. The only people or agencies that I can foresee that might be interested in it is a school resource program where marijuana is still gonna be illegal, or not allowed in the school. We put an email out, we had one hit, they haven't called,
No.
so.
Have anything back. I'll double check with them
Yeah.
too, though.
Then the tasers, we put in for a grant, and it's absolutely absurd, $160-some thousand for all new tasers, but the taser company itself has got, in my opinion, a monopoly. And they put in 3 iPads, of course, the software to maintain it, and it's absolutely absurd. And this is for the newest version of tasers. So I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna replace little by little the current model, not the new generation, the one that the officers are used to. So if we get this grant, that's great, but I don't foresee it happening for $164,000, I think it was. So I just put it on there and make you aware. They go bad. They last maybe 3 years. And my conspiracy theory is they set up to the last 3 years.
Kind of like Microsoft's operating systems, you know?
Yes, yes. So, and then you can read through, and I'm more than happy to address any of the cuts and what we're doing. The Cellbrite, in case you don't know what that is, it is the downloading of cell phones when we seize them for drug cases and for any other case. That's an annual subscription. And on last report, I had it saving of, I think it was around 9,000. Well, I went back and checked, they lowered their cost, and then we cut some, we cut 9,000. So it's actually a $12,000 saving from last year to this year. And that's because we cut down on the amount of unlocks, we were paying for them and not using them. Let me go, I was able to find, or not find, we were luckily able, qualified to get reimbursement for 3 things, and one of them is mental health transports, which we have already submitted, I think 5 or 6 to comprehensive. We should be getting those back. Wendy's gonna let me know when we do receive those. But that should be, I hope it's less, but that 2,000 a year, that it's taking an officer out of the county for 2 hours, but we do get a little bit of income. It'll cover those 2 hours of salary is what it'll do. The reimbursement for subpoenas, that's just a fee for serving, and the arrest fees, the arrest fees are all dependent on how many felony arrests we make. Well, last year it was about 1,500 to 2,000. So the subpoena fee, I just put it in there with that, it's $2 a paper, so it's something little. We currently have 4, we're getting ready to lose 1. Contract employees, which that saves, and I did the math by their individual salaries, it's saving about $75,000 a year that the city, we're not paying into retirement on those 3 officers. And then the Fourth Avenue, I really, Commissioner McKay, I'm sorry, I called, and it looks like it might backfire. I think rent's gonna go up rather than down on Fourth Avenue. So that's probably gonna be more than 14,000 that we could save and we're just not utilizing it. Ashley Messer is there, and then community liaison, Chris Neal is there 1 full day a week during the school year. Now, summertime, he's there, but I've been talking to him, and we're gonna utilize him. He's a sworn officer. We're gonna utilize him as a sworn officer. That might be writing parking tickets, that might be
Street sweeper tickets.
walking the streets and talking to kids, but, so he doesn't need to be sitting in there. We can find a room to use for meetings elsewhere, and it's just something I encourage you, to entertain, just as a savings.
Is there a particular, in that lease, is there a certain period of time that we have, is it like a month-to-month arrangement?
Since it's sold.
Since it's sold, yeah. Bagnoli Properties was the last lease agreement we had, so, I mean, yeah, we can get out of it. We can get out at any time.
All right.
Technically, we would really need to renew the lease with DMC GLL effective July 1st. And I think it's the current lease we had with Bagnoli Properties, I think was $3,600 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's, the majority of that's utilities in the 15,000.
Sure.
And it's it's crazy the amount of utilities we're paying
Yeah.
on that little building.
And are there dispatch numbers for that building, or?
Well, there's, in that 15,000 is phone lines. It's about $190 a month for a phone line.
Okay,
At
but-
that one building.
But there is like a dispatch
Well,
operation
it's a
there.
regular landline that we can buzz.
As far as answering calls,
Radio.
okay.
We holler on them or call them.
Is there a need for the station as far as staffing it because it's closer to that end of town and therefore easier for officers to get to where they need to go?
Maybe we
quicker?
could it's not being utilized.
Okay, all right.
It's not being utilized,
All
would be the
right.
best answer. I mean, we get manpower back up,
Mm-hmm.
maybe there will be a justified need for, more, but we're in the cars more than anything. When you're working 3 to 4 shift, you're bouncing from call to call constantly.
Yeah, yeah.
I get it, the cost saving idea, I do, but I just want to brief Commissioner Boone on, this came about years ago when the previous owners of IGA
Mm-hmm.
threatened, they didn't threaten, they weren't going to renew the lease.
Oh, okay, I see.
And it was just a lot hanging out on the parking lot, alleged theft, alleged drug dealing. So it was mostly as a deterrent.
I see, okay.
So when we put the sign up, they did leave his lot, they just moved over to Super America. But now that the current owner has the building bought, so.
Okay, that
It
makes,
saves 14,000 and there's talk of raising the rent, so. But it would be nice to, I guess we just need to patrol more up that way then if we're not gonna have a place to hang out.
Cruisers we can park here now.
You got one up there now. A nice black SUV. Whose is that?
That's, I think that's retired Lieutenant Poe's vehicle. Yeah. The only thing else I would like to mention, in last year's budget research, we, put in for several new computers in the cars, and the city purchased those for it. So that was about $75,000 in the budget. If we can keep that in there, that'll take care of a lot of these items that I mentioned minus the vehicle, of course. So,
Yeah, because if I recall, we ended up buying some MDTs because we knew, as you mentioned, we weren't gonna have the bodies for the vehicles, so we pushed those to, yeah.
And we have, I believe we have 7 or 8 still new MDTs sitting over there.
Okay.
So we won't need those for, who knows, like Taser, like Microsoft.
Yeah, I got you.
As long as they're compatible.
Chief, thank you. Any questions for Chief Foles? Appreciate it. Chief Carpenter?
Save the best for last, right? Well, I'll be quick because I know everybody's excited to go back to work. So the first one I would like to talk about, that first bullet there, if you still have my sheet, is the increased staffing. I put in your mailbox, it was a run volume fact sheet. I don't know if you've got it. If you need one, I've got one here. In 2014 and 15, that was the oldest data I could get when we were at 6 per shift. Because we switched programs in the mid-2013 area, so I wanted full years. We were running about 2,700 runs a year average between those 2 years. I tried to group years together because if you want good data, you don't just rely on 1 year. Let's get a group of years and get real data because, you know, some may be high, may be low. Let's get a grouping of an area. In 2016, we went to from 6 to 8 a shift. And that's because that 2015, we went almost to 3,000 runs a year. That was overrunning us, so that was conversations you all had with Kevin. That's when I was just a little peon and I was washing a truck out there while you all were having these conversations. So, so we went to 8 a shift, and from 2016 to 2018, we were averaging around 3,200 runs a year. After 2018, and you see that gap, I left that gap out for a reason because that's COVID years. And everything was wild and different in COVID. So I couldn't justify the numbers in that because COVID put a big asterisk on all those. So if you skip ahead to 23 to 25, we're now averaging around 4,800 runs, a little over 4,800 runs a year, which is a significant increase from the 2016-18 numbers. So I say all that to ask, we need more people.
Real quick, Chief, mention the comparison with Paris,
Okay.
Bourbon County.
Now, if you look at the bottom of that sheet, I put other fire departments in the Commonwealth that run fire and EMS. The one thing significant different about us is we're city fire and we're county EMS. So we're kind of, we do a broad spectrum, and it's hard to get exact numbers of somebody comparable, but I did as best as I can. We'll start with Burlington, which is in northern Kentucky. They just cover their city of Burlington. They do about 3,500 runs a year, and they got 9 per shift. Paris, which is probably the closest to compare to us, our run volume's bigger, but they do city fire and county EMS just like us. They do 3,500 runs a year, and they got 12 per shift. Newport Fire Department, they do about the same amount of runs as we do, around 5,000, and they've got 14 per shift. And Montgomery County does 6,500, and they've got 13 per shift. So we're significantly below the shift, what we've got per shift compared to run volume. And with that being said, right now we have 8, and I'm just asking for 2 per shift and making it 10 for now. Because I know this is kind of a big step when it comes to personnel, and as far as benefits and everything, that's probably the biggest investment the city can make. And I know the kind of upbringing between benefits and everything can be expensive, but I truly believe when you invest in an employee, invest in people working here, you're gonna get better quality service. And that's what our goal is, the Maysville Fire Department, is get the best quality service we can for this community. So, we've been lucky that we haven't had an incident. When you're working a fire, it takes roughly 10 to 15 people to be comfortably working a fire. And we've got 8 per shift, so we depended on a lot of people coming off duty. Here recently at the Maysville Fire Department, we don't have the people wanting to work in our community working. So we've had to look outside our community. We've got people from Olive Hill, we've got people from Ohio, we've got a regional hub that we can't depend on those off-duty people coming in anymore. The fire the other night, I think we had 3 coming off duty. So we worked that fire with 11 people. So the need for this is very important. If there's anything I can say, the most important thing on my small capital items list is this. And that's why I'm gonna spend so much time talking about it. But if you have any questions about this, please feel free to talk to me about it.
Sure.
We probably needed it last year, but I wanted a good day to show that they're here to stay, and that you can tell it's
Do
here to
we
stay.
need to look at our interlocal agreement with the county to make any adjustments there?
We looked into that last year, and they did
Yeah.
help us out a little bit last year.
And we need to look at it again.
Yeah, we need to look at it again, but the conversations I have, they've got a lot going on over there, and they're kind of tabling it until,
think
I don't
we
have to
do
say
need to
what,
do
what's going on over there, so they've kind of tabled talking about it until they know more what's going on in the future over there.
Okay.
So, conversations.
We have time.
We have time, we have time, so.
Yeah.
On down the list, if you have any questions, I'm just gonna kind of list them. If you got any more questions about it, please stop me, because I know your old time's valuable and you're ready to get to work. Equipment for the new boat, real quick. If you haven't seen the email or whatever, if you wanna see the picture, it is done with the fabrication with the aluminum, basically the hull's built. They just gotta outfit it and should be coming in May. So around May is when we'll get this boat. So, it's a big investment and great because it's federal money, so, it's gonna be great for our community. So, we need equipment for it, so we're safe, and our getting scuba gear and stuff like that, looking around $50,000 for equipment. Next on the sheet is 2 pickup trucks for me and Sarton. Right now, we're in Tahoe's, and his is quite up there in mileage, and is a 2013, and mine was bought when Kevin got chief, and it's getting up there in mileage. We just want to get out of the Tahoe's. NFPA and cancer and all that stuff, they said, don't put your gear in the cab, because you're breathing in all those chemicals. Well, when you got a Tahoe, your gear's staying in the cab. So we would like 2 pickup trucks that are red, labeled Maysville Fire Department, and they know we're the fire department. And we don't look like police, we make it basically what every other fire department has around in this community and outwards, so.
And those Tahoes that you guys have, we could probably repurpose, recycle, and use those in another department.
Yeah.
Maybe the guys that need public works, wouldn't it, needed trucks and utilities, maybe they
Could
could.
be, yeah.
So they're dependable vehicles to stay local, but we travel so
I
much for
think I even
meetings.
talked to you about maybe using one of them as a fleet vehicle here at
Yeah.
City Hall.
So,
So we had a 3rd fleet vehicle.
yeah, mine, like the gray Tahoe
Yeah.
could be a fleet vehicle where,
Yeah.
Melissa needed to go have a meeting with somebody, or
Yeah.
Matt or somebody, it could be there, so. Next, the Zoll vent for the ambulance. Right now, we have one. We need a second one for the other main out ambulance. We can now RSI, which we explained that in the meeting before. We need another vent, and they're 17,000. So, and then, we ordered a new fire truck 3 years ago. I would say January will be when we get that, if I was a betting man. They said November. It's not gonna be November. It's like anything else with the fire service. They say a month, you add 3 months to it. So, January, February, would say that will be coming in. I know we kinda, on paper, budgeted $1 million, but as of right now, it sets with tariffs and everything we're looking at, about 840,000 so far.
Okay,
Questions for Chief?
Any questions?
thank you.
So right now, you're pretty slim on if someone gets sick, on the, which,
Yeah, so
I mean, as far
our-
as staffing goes.
Our policy officially is that one can take off and we don't fill in. But we're so busy, we've been filling in.
Sure,
So
yeah.
we're running solid 8 the whole time. And between vacations, people getting sick, and it just puts a strain. And we're
Yeah.
paying a lot on overtime.
Yeah.
So going to 10 would probably lower that overtime rate down.
Do you need a building for that boat?
So I'm working on, I did not put that on the budget because I'm trying to find other means for paying for it. That's not the city of Mason.
You have a couple warehouses, don't you?
Yeah,
We saved one of them.
they're empty, that's all. Yeah.
So, but no, we're working on that. I've had conversations with people in the state or local people that, I'm trying to get that building paid for otherwise, so.
Good job.
Melissa and I have started working on the operating budget, so here pretty soon, we'll get that to you all. We'll have some other smaller department budgets, we'll get those to you as soon as we can. We'll look at maybe another budget session at the end of our regular meeting, we'll go from there. Mayor, Commissioners, I would ask that you scratch the next item, because we don't have a firm commitment on the individual yet, so there's no reason to go into closed session to discuss.
Okay. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Boone,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Cartwell,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner McKay.
Yes, ma'am.